Hello, hello. Just checking if it's going live. Right. Never done a live before on my laptop, so hoping this is all going to work okay. I'm not sure if anyone's even here yet. If you're here, pop on in the comments. Tell me where you're from in the world. Hi, hi, Aideen. Hello, Helena. Welcome, welcome. So I'm assuming that I am live and it's working okay and everyone can hear me. Just wait for a couple of minutes just to see if a few more people join in. Um, and then we will get going for this very unplanned and unprepared talk. Hello, Julie in Totten, Southampton, or Tooten. Michaeline in the USA, welcome. So I'm also in Southampton in the UK. Belfast, Northern Ireland. Brilliant. Okay. So just give it a few more minutes just to see if anyone else joins. I think we've got 15 people on watching at the moment. So if you've just come on, please pop in the comments and say hello and let me know where in the world you are. Um, I'm in Southampton in Hampshire, which is the UK. Be nice to see whereabouts all you are. This is the first time I've done a live on my laptop because I normally do them on my phone. So I've got all these weird and wonderful things popping up on my screen telling me about stream metrics and insights, which I have no idea about. Hello, Romania, George. Hello, Emma, Manchester. Brilliant. I used to live in Manchester. Essex. Colin, welcome. Um, so yeah, so all these weird and wonderful insights. I'm the most not techie person ever. Give me people and dogs, it's absolutely fine, but anything to do with tech, I haven't a clue. Norfolk, hello Alison, hello Rachel. Nat Jones is in Beastly. For those that don't know where Beastly is, that's a bit of a private joke. That's a place called Eastleigh, which is also in Hampshire, but it often gets known as Beastly. I'm not sure why. Um, so, as I was just saying, this is the first time I've done a live on my laptop. Hi, Diana, 20 minutes down the road. Um, I normally do them on my phone, so I've got all sorts coming on. I've never done a live or a talk in any sort of conference before, so this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So I'm feeling quite nervous. Hello, Maggie in Greece. But Ruby asked me, but the message went into my spam folder. I think I got it about midnight on Saturday night, and then I decided to do it on Sunday after a few of my professional pet colleagues. I'm doing a separation anxiety program, and we're in a little pod, and a few of them egged me on to come on and do it because apparently networking is not something that pet professionals like to do. Hi, Freya. Freya's looking forward to this one. Where are you from, Freya? And hello, Debbie. Please put in the comments where you're from. Rachel, please tell us where in the world you are. We've got people from all over the world. So this is my unplanned and unprepared little talk into how to successfully network for pet pro businesses like yourselves. I've got no fancy presentation. Hi Jan. Jan's in Southampton as well, just up the road. Jordana is in Iowa in the USA. Amazing. We've got Freya that's in Suffolk. Brilliant. Okay. So we've got about 22 people on now, so I think we will sort of officially get going. Debbie's in Norfolk, the UK, so we're very international here this evening. So yeah, so really unprepared, unplanned talk. No fancy presentation. It's just me having a chat with you all. Basically, just giving you some of my advice on how to successfully network and how I've become successful at network. And in turn, it's actually given me business. My business just comes from Facebook as well as networking. So Facebook and network are my two main advertising tools. I don't sort of do any other sort of advertising as such. I'm very lucky that it all does come from Facebook and networking. So networking is the thing we're talking about. Rachel's in Saddleworth near Manchester. I used to live in Manchester. I lived in a place called Swinton before I moved to Bolton. But I'm originally a Hampshire hog, born and bred Southampton lad. So we've moved back down to Southampton a few years ago. But I do know Manchester and Bolton and Blackburn quite well. So yeah, so I've been told that not a lot of pet professionals really know how to network, or you don't really like to put yourself out there and to network. Hi, Petra. I'm glad you stayed awake for this. Petra wasn't sure if she was going to be awake or not. Um, yeah, so not a lot of pet professionals like to network or know how to do it, or they don't want to put themselves out there. They don't feel that they want to sort of sell themselves as such. And to be honest with you, it's not about really selling yourself. It's just about building a rapport with the people in the room, building relationships, and just investing that time. And if you invest that time, which is maybe a bit of short term pain, will be longer term gain and will pay off for you in the long run. So um, networking is like having your own little mini sales force. I'll tell you about my journey into networking. I used to be in boring banking, that is banking with a B. I used to work for Barclays. I was there for 15 years. So thanks, Jan. Um, I worked for Barclays and I used to do a lot of networking because I used to be a business manager. So I used to look after people that had their own businesses, like you and I, as pet professionals. So I used to have to go to networking. But back then, networking was really, really stuffy. It was all sort of solicitors, accountants, people like that. No offense if we've got any accountants or solicitors on the call, because networking has come a long way. But basically, when I used to go to networking, as a banker, as a business manager, it was really stuffy. You had to be suited and booted, and it just felt not. It just felt like a really not real or nice environment. So that was my first experience of networking. I then set up two businesses about 3 years ago. I found myself unemployed and I randomly set up a independent travel agency business, as well as a dog walking business. I have a love of travel, and I have a love for dogs. I've got 6 dogs of my own. I set up a dog walking business. My friend had a um, dog walking website that had been ranking really well on Google. It had been running for about 7, 8 years, had really good SEO. That meant nothing to me, but he basically said, "Did I want to take on the website?" Which I did. So I took on the website and I ran with both my businesses. And then I made a decision to then just concentrate on one of the businesses, which was the dog walking, because that's what my main love was more for. And I shut down my travel business, which I'm quite glad I did because of, this certain global pandemic that we're currently in. And obviously, travel has been hit quite hard. So I decided just to concentrate on my dog walking business, and then I launched into training about a year ago. So I just moved back down to Southampton then as well. So we've been living back in Southampton for 3 years now. So I had lost a lot of my contacts from when I was working at the bank. So I needed to basically put myself out there to get my business known. Um, there's lots of different networking groups around, so you're all in different parts of the country and the world. So you will find that there will be lots of different networking groups. Some won't be for you. Some are for women only, which is no problem with that. There's just some networking groups that are just for women only. So it means that men aren't able to go along. I've not known of any networking groups that are just for men only yet, but only I have come across some that are for women only. There are some networking groups out there that are just for mums or parents. for people that are just sort of more crafty and sort of, you know, that are just into sort of arts and crafts. So there are lots of different networking groups. And it's all about finding which networking group kind of works best for you. Can anyone tell me if you currently network? Can you just put in the comments? Do you currently do any networking? If you just have any yes or no's in the comments, just so I can get a gist of if we're all completely networking novices, or if we've tried it and didn't like it, or that you are still doing it. So we'll just wait for some of those comments to come in. And thank you all for joining me on this lovely Monday evening. So Petra says a little, and obviously Petra is a brand photographer, so I'd imagine that she might have done a little bit of networking in terms of promoting her business. Julie says not really, no. George is saying BNI is great. So I will come on to BNI. I do have experience of BNI, so I'm glad that George has mentioned BNI networking. Alison says not really. And then Freya says I spend a lot of time in various Facebook groups, but not networking in person so much. And then Rachel does a fair bit, yes, which is brilliant. So obviously there are groups on Facebook, Freya, which I'll come back to in a bit as well. And obviously at the moment, all in-person networking has had to stop. So a lot of networking groups. Julie, I'll come on to BNI in a moment. It's a networking group basically, but it's a global networking group. So do you know what? I don't even know what it stands for anymore. But I will come back on to BNI anyway. So yeah, so basically there are some groups on Facebook, but as I said, not all in-person networking has gone online. It was all face to face, but obviously everyone had to put it online. I do run my own networking group. My networking group is Made in Hampshire Networking Events. So if you're a business based in Hampshire, for some of you that are on the live this evening, you're more than welcome to search the group on Facebook. I'll put it in the comments as well, and you're welcome to join the group. And I'll tell you the reason why I set up um, my own networking group. Alison went to a breakfast meeting before lockdown. I love the breakfast meetings because I love food. So I went to a lot of networking. I was a bit of a networking whore. I call myself a networking queen. Sorry, I just said a swear word then. I hope I don't offend anyone. And my husband didn't understand why I do this networking. He's like, why do you do this network? And no matter how much I love working with dogs day in, day out, I am a people person. I do work on my own a lot. It can be quite lonely. Obviously, you do have the dogs to talk to, but unfortunately, they can't talk to you back. But the reason I do networking is because I like that human interaction. I like meeting people. I am a people person, but I have found it really hard over the last year purely because all networking has gone online. And I really struggle with sort of being online because I see this screen as a bit of a barrier. Also, I'm a hugger, so I like to hug people, and I just miss that human interaction basically. But when I first started up my business, I went to a lot of different networking groups, and you have to sort of dip in and out and find which one works for you. Not all will work for you. People mentioned BNI, so BNI are a global international networking group. They have them all over the world. There's a load in the UK. With BNI, so you will find with some networking groups, they only allow one category, one member per category. So that means they only allow one dog trainer, they only allow one dog groomer, they only allow one dog walker, one solicitor, one accountant. So that does mean that you can shut out all the competition as such. You can't, no one else from your field is allowed in. It means that only you from your sector represents that sector. So BNI is a lot more, it's a bit more regimented. So like I say, it doesn't work for everyone. I did try it for myself, but it was when I had my holiday business. They meet weekly, so they have meetings throughout the day, early in the morning at 6 in the morning. They have lunchtime meetings, normally lasting for a couple of hours. They have evening meetings, and it's you are targeted on the amount of referrals that you give, and it can be quite a costly membership as well. And for someone just setting up in business, or if funds are a bit tight, to join, it can cost about £1,000 to join, and then you have to pay every week for your lunch, basically. So it is a bit, it's not for everyone. I did try it, but like I say, um, they only allow one category. So a lot of networking groups now have sort of decided to just get rid of that rule as such, and they allow anyone to join. It can be, you can have 10 dog trainers there and 10 dog walkers, because I'm a big believer in people by people. So if people take a like to you and you take the time to invest in that relationship and getting to know them, they will then refer to you. So a lot of networking groups are now going down the route of not having category restrictions. Rachel says it's too early in the morning. 6 o'clock is too early. Freya, how do they choose who is suitable for their network? So they have a list of different categories that they want. So they want like a web designer, they want an IT person, they want an accountant, and they have like a committee. So they have like a president, an what's the word? What I can't think of. Vice president, and like a company secretary, and basically they have like a committee who decides who can join their network. So if your face sometimes doesn't fit, or you're not the right person for their group, then unfortunately you may not be able to join. I hope that answers your question a little bit, Freya. Rachel was laughing there as well. So yeah, I did try BNI. I tried lots of different networking groups. Um, and then, because I'm a bit of a rebel, I decided that I didn't really like all these different networking groups. So I did. There was things I liked about some networking groups, and then there was things I didn't like. So then I set up my own networking group. So I ripped up the networking rule book, and basically I just made my own networking group. So we got Revolution, which is a bar in Southampton. I knew the sales manager there from another networking group, and it was a Monday night, and I had about 30 different business people turn up. And I didn't charge anyone for that because I was getting the venue hire for free. All people had to do was just pay for their drinks or if they wanted food. So it was quite quiet on a Monday night for a venue like that. So it meant they were getting some extra revenue. So as I said, I didn't charge anyone for it because some networking groups will charge you. There's sometimes like a monthly subscription fee or a joining fee. I basically said there was no category restrictions, so you could have, at the time as well, I had my travel agency and there was other travel agents coming along, and we used to get up and just introduce ourselves together. And that, I'm a big believer in collaboration over competition every day. There's no point, being at war with someone or competing. If you work together, it's a lot better, I feel. And that's one of my big sort of um, advocates, that I'm, collaboration over competition. So I didn't restrict the amount of there was only allowed to be one dog walk or one dog trainer. I just said everyone was welcome. Um, when you do go to networking meetings as well, you sometimes have to do what you call a 60-second intro. Not everyone likes doing um, 60 seconds. And I basically said, I'm not saying you have to do it, but all I will ask is that you listen to what other people say for their 60 seconds. And that's purely just, hello, my name is Nathan, my business is Nathan's Paw Trials, and just a little bit about what you do. And as I say, I ripped up the rule book and I've set up a Facebook group. I've got 700 members in that group now. We were meeting up twice a month face to face, but we now meet up online. And that's every other Wednesday. So Rachel says we do something similar. Me and a local mobile vet do a networking even. We each have a little talk and lots of mingling. So yeah, great. For my networking group, I used to get guest speakers along. So throughout the summer, last summer, for all the meetings, I had different guest speakers. We had I had another networking group come on. It's a networking group called Only Network, and they are going nationally. So if you're in the UK at the moment, they are starting to pop all over the UK, and that's Only, ONLE. But I actually host one of their groups, and I had them come along and talk about how to be successful networkers and to build longer lasting relationships. I had like a videographer come on, a photographer, Petra. Who else to have come on? I can't think now. I had a life coach. I had lots of different people come on and do guest speaking, basically. Um, so yeah, so there are lots of different networking groups that that are out there that you need to try, and then you will find one that works for you. And it isn't all about being salesy or selling yourself, because I'm a firm believer that people will buy from you and recommend you. You shouldn't have to sell yourself. If you build a relationship and you maintain that relationship and you invest that time, people will then want to buy from you. And I feel now is that it's almost like having your own little mini sales force. So if you go along and represent yourself, and then people will then remember you. And if you go along each week or each every 2 weeks or every month, however long the frequency is, if you then turn up and you're consistent, people then remember who you are. And then, like I said, it's like having your own mini sales force. So, for example, a lot of my business from my training side of the business has come from networking recently. I met a lady last year at networking. She runs a spa. She said a year ago she had no use for my services, but she's now just got a puppy, and we've been doing online one-to-one puppy training. So she basically said I was at the top of her list for when she was looking around at puppy training, because she remembered me from a networking group that she'd met me at a year previously. At that point, she had no need for my services. So it is about being consistent and about showing up. If you join a networking group, you need to try and go regularly. They encourage you to have one-to-ones. So the good thing about one-to-ones now is that you can do them via Zoom or whatever online channel you use, because before you'd have to go meet someone and then you'd have to factor in the travel time. But now you can just do your one-to-one on Zoom. So I do, excuse me, I do really recommend doing one-to-ones, because that helps build those relationships a lot further. Um, for example, the other day, I've had a lot of if you've seen the dog training college, they run canine body language workshops and reactive rascals, which I'm a licensed instructor to do. Um, Loads of people, when I first launched those workshops at the end of last year, loads of people actually came on to those workshops because they had dogs and they wanted to support me. So, they didn't buy from me from the whole year of me being there. But as soon as I had something that was of interest to them, they didn't necessarily need me to walk their dog, although they would have recommended me to their friends or family that did need a dog walker. Basically, by going to that networking meeting every fortnight, and by maintaining and building those relationships, when I was then putting on a workshop, they were happy to buy that workshop and attend, because they bought into me, and they found it interesting. They had a dog and they wanted to understand their dog's body language a lot more. So that's another example that even though they didn't buy from me initially, a little bit down the line, when I put on a workshop and it was something that was interesting to them, they did it. So Petra says that she's been a guest speaker at networking groups, excuse me, which is lots of fun. Yes, it's great. Rachel Rogers, so true. I joined a networking group when I won a free ticket for a posh even do with them. Fast forward 3 years, and a company I met there have sponsored Trainer of the Month for my charity, and provided a discounted course for all 100 of our trainers. So that's fantastic. So there's sponsorship opportunities if you do stuff for charity and you need sponsorships. Again, you'll meet all these different businesses that some do have the money that they can put up, and they can put up sponsorship, and they can put up prizes for competitions, and for any sort of things that you're running. So also, um, I wasn't at a networking meeting last month, but one of the ladies that came on my Reactive Rascals course, she basically spoke about the course and recommended it to everyone. So I didn't even have to be there, but she was an attendee of the course, of the workshop, and she basically spoke about it, on the networking meeting, and I wasn't even there for that. So that's just because she came on the course and she's part of the same networking group, and she was so happy with it. She's just done a review on Google for me today, Google My Business. So I've been trying to get a few more reviews on that. So she's just done one on there for me today. So that was great. I didn't even have to be there, but yet I had someone speaking about me and my business on my behalf, and that's just because she's been on my workshop, because she's part of the same networking group. So that's what I mean about having your own little mini sales force that work for you for free, really. They're not wanting anything in return. All they may want is that if you recommend something for their business. So, we have some people that do doTERRA essential oils. Now, doTERRA essential oils, I think, are amazing. They've worked for me. I suffer really badly of anxiety, and the lady that does doTERRA, she gave me a load of oils to sample, and so now I will now recommend those oils to other people and recommend that they speak to her. So, it works both ways, really. You may not be able to give a recommendation like there and then or within that month or two, but along the line, you'll remember that person and you'll want to recommend them. So, by building those relationships, those people will then promote your business and your products and services on your behalf. Um, so going back to groups as well. So hello, Laura. Um, there's loads of Facebook groups obviously around at the moment. As pet professionals, we're in lots of different groups. Helena Sales doTERRA, very pleased to hear this, human and animals. So yes, doTERRA oils are fantastic. You can now use them with animals. They're, they're just amazing. So I'm speaking about doTERRA oils now, and I don't sell them, but I know someone that does. So because I've used the product and I believe in it, and I love the person that does it, so I would happily recommend her. But yeah, there's loads of Facebook groups, and there's different networking groups. So in your area, for example, we have like a lot of the ladies that are in from Hampshire. We have a Southampton professional pet professionals group, so you can post in there. We have local, I guess in the US you might call them suburbs, but we have areas. So I live in Lordswood, so we have a local Lordswood neighbours group. And people often ask in there, is there any local dog trainers, any local dog walkers? And then you can then go on and then post your name and your business. So I'm quite active with that. That's how I do get a lot of my business. If someone asks for a trainer or a walker, I will go on and post my business name. But I'm very fortunate as well that other people from my network will then also recommend me, and they will post my business page on my behalf. A few weeks ago, I took a break off Facebook for a week, which was really hard to do. I don't know if you've ever tried to take a break from Facebook when you're running a couple of businesses, because regardless of me trying to take a break, I still had people texting me saying, I've tagged you in this on Facebook and I've messaged you this on Facebook. So even though I had a week off Facebook, I still was recommended in groups on local neighborhood groups for people that were asking for stuff from other people that are in my networking group. So I didn't even have to be there, is that other people will then recommend on your behalf. And that just comes again from building those relationships. That particular lady, we used to walk her dog. We don't anymore due to COVID. And she's bought some products from me as well. So, she likes to support me. So if you get people that will buy into you, they will quite happily shout about you from the rooftops. But blow your own trumpet, because sometimes not everyone else will. So blow your own trumpet in these groups. If people are tagging you, then obviously you need to jump on that tag and you need to respond to that tag. And that's what it's all about. It's about being in these different groups, but it's about showing up and being present. No worries, Petra. We'll see you soon. So yes, catch the rest on replay. So yes, so you do need to be consistent. You do need to show up, and I'm a bit guilty of that. I am on Facebook a lot, so if I do see that I'm tagged in something, I will always respond and I will always say thank you for tagging me. And if there are other trainers or dog walkers that are tagged, I will always put a comment on there saying thanks for tagging me. There's some fantastic people that have been tagged here, all great people. But if you'd like to have a look at my page and my reviews and ask any questions, please do. But that's just what I do, because that's just the way I am. So I'll always basically speak about the other people that have been tagged on there. Is anyone on LinkedIn? Please put in the comments if you're on LinkedIn, because I want to talk about LinkedIn next. Because if you're not on LinkedIn, you need to get on LinkedIn. So just some yes and no's if you're on LinkedIn. If you've never heard of LinkedIn, then please tell me you've never heard of it. I hope you're enjoying this talk with my experiences of how to successfully network as a pet professional business. As I say, it was very unprepared and unplanned. So I do hope that what I'm sharing is useful, and that you're getting you're getting some tips that you can take forward. So Rachel Rogers, I love that. Many people avoid replying if other trainers are mentioned. No, definitely jump on that. Julie's not on LinkedIn. Rachel's on LinkedIn. Helena, I hope I say your name right. Yes, but I don't get it. Freya, I tried LinkedIn, but I don't get it. Okay, brilliant. So LinkedIn used to just be a tool for people that were looking for employees, or if you were job hunting, basically. It used to just be a professional sort of quite a stuffy version, I guess, of Facebook. It was more sort of a bit highbrow. It was if you run a business and you were looking for employers. But LinkedIn has evolved so much over the last year. So I'm now on LinkedIn. I have been for the last couple of years. I just get vet recruitment companies on LinkedIn still. Yeah, I bet you get a lot of people just pop into your inbox, and I just press delete to those, or I press don't respond. So with LinkedIn, if you're not on LinkedIn, you need to get yourself on there. I personally don't see many other dog trainers on there, but it is a really good tool to get yourself known. Basically, with LinkedIn, you can update your profile. Rachel, do try again. You might have an option if you've got, unless you've got your recruiter, if you're open for employment, or if you've got open to recruiters, you might have to play around with your settings. That might be why they're trying to jump into your DMs. But for your LinkedIn profiles, again, I was recommended to someone to do bunny pop-ins. Bunny pop-ins. I mean, bunny check-ins. I've only ever done it once before, and I was recommended from someone that had met me through networking. So she messaged me on LinkedIn and said, "We've never used someone to pop into our house before to check on our bunnies. Is it something you can help with?" And it was. They had 3 bunnies. One of my employees went along, and they loved it. They gave us a raving review, and they said they would use us again. So that was just from a recommendation from someone that I'd met at networking. She'd put on her LinkedIn post, "Does anyone know anyone that does this?" And I was recommended. So yes, definitely try it, as Rachel, as the other Rachel has said. So with LinkedIn, in your name, you want to put next to your name what your title is. So my name is Nathan Dunleavy, approved dog trainer. So for when people search you, that's what comes up straight away. So that was a tip that I was given. There's loads of LinkedIn coaches around at the moment. So if you put your title, what your business title, or what your what your job title is, next to your name, you can change it. And then basically you've got some sort of subheadings under there. And what you want to do is you just want to break that down into what you do. So I've got on there that I'm a dog trainer, dog walker. So part of my dog walking business is that we're dog walkers, we're animal lovers, we're pet caregivers. So under my little subheading, I've got that I'm a dog trainer, dog walker, animal lover, pet caregiver. I'm a networker and a collaborator. So you can break that down, and you can put on there a little bit about your bio. You can put on there obviously your employment history, and you can get recommendations. So people love recommendations. So just like on your Facebook pages, where people do your review, which has now been changed to recommendations, like Google reviews, people can now send you recommendations on LinkedIn. So what I've now been doing is that the clients that I'm connected with on LinkedIn, I've been asking them to do me a recommendation, because again, that helps push your profile up and gets you seen. And you can review that recommendation before you accept it on your profile. So for any reason you don't like it, you can just tell them to go back and reword it. So you'll never have any nasty reviews or recommendations on your own LinkedIn profile, because you get to approve them before they appear. And then just follow, just go and sort of follow a few other pet professionals. I'm following some pet professionals on there, and then engage. And the best thing you can do is like love a comment, a bit like Facebook. A like doesn't get the post seen, but a wow or a love. So LinkedIn have now got little little like things, and it's love, it's support, it's insightful. So just love that comment, and then write a comment on that, and then engage with it basically, and it will just help get your profile seen. It will get your profile higher up on on LinkedIn. People then view you. If you are sending a connection request, my best advice for you would be, is to personalize that connection request, because no one likes to just get a random. So like on Facebook you can just add someone, so on LinkedIn you can send a connection request, but there is an option where you can personalize that. So it might be just to say, hey, you're a fellow dog trainer, so am I, I'd love to connect with you. And then that just makes your invitation to connect a little bit more personal. So that was what I was recommended to do whenever I connected with anyone on LinkedIn, was to send the invitation but make it personal, and just put on there how you knew them, or just why you might want to connect. You might have met them at a conference like that we've been on this evening. You know, I might go through and connect with some of you on LinkedIn if you're there. It is a free site, Emma. There is a premium version as well, which in my eyes is quite expensive. But sometimes they do free trials, either a month or 3 months. And then you have to pay for it. But no, there is a premium version. But the premium version, again, is more, if I think, for job people that are searching for jobs, and for recruiters. And it allows you to be able to send messages to people straight away that you've not connected with. So it just gives you some more fancy options. But yeah, there is a free version. There's an app. So yeah, just get yourself on LinkedIn. Get your job titles on there. Get on there what you do, and just start connecting with some fellow pet professionals. Add me on LinkedIn. I'm on there as Nathan Dunleavy, approved dog trainer, and let's connect on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is very much becoming a networking tool now for professionals. So we all need to jump on this and get a piece of the pie. And then once you start doing your actual networking, is people will then connect with you on LinkedIn, and they will recommend you if people are asking for a dog trainer or a dog walker or a vet or a nurse, or a dog groomer. And it just acts as a really good networking tool. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on LinkedIn. And going back to, the core subject, how to successfully network, just go to just search. You can search on Eventbrite. You can search on the event tabs. Jeanette, I didn't even know Jeanette was on. I always found it boring, but we'll give it a go. No, Jeanette, definitely get on LinkedIn. I can always help you with it. So Jeanette's a trainer and behaviourist not far from me as well. That I do some that I do some shadowing and refer some cases to. So yeah, get on LinkedIn. It used to be boring, but they're making it a lot more cool now. It's just a bit more of a professional version of Facebook, basically. Yeah. So back to the main subject. So search on search on Facebook under the events tab. Search on Eventbrite. There will be a lot of networking groups in your area. There is a lady in Southampton, Hampshire, that has just set up a dog groomers networking event just purely for dog groomers, which I think is fantastic. I might even set one up just for dog walkers or dog trainers. How about that if I set up a networking group just for dog trainers? A national or an international one. That's just given me an idea there. So yeah, a lady in Hampshire's just set one up for pet groomers. But just have a look on all your local networking groups. Go and try it out. You may not like it. There's some that you can go to for free. There's some that you have to pay for. There's some that you have to pay yearly memberships. There's some that tie you in. There's some that you can just go monthly and just go along. But just invest in that time, and you know just do your 30-second pitch. You don't even have to stand up if you don't want to. You can just say, I'm sitting here. But just shout about you and your wonderful businesses. Connect with those people. Do one-to-ones. Build those relationships. And yeah, and then just they will be your mini sales force. They will help get you business. They will recommend on your behalf. Like I said, all my businesses come from networking. More recently as well, loads of people have got puppies. They've all been at home. So I've had about 3 or 4 different clients that have come from networking. Some people that don't even live here. I've got someone that lives in Hook, but he's just going to do his puppy training online with me. Now, I wouldn't have met that guy had I not gone on to a networking meeting a couple of months ago. He then asked for a one-to-one with me, so I had a half an hour one-to-one from over Zoom. I told him all about my dog training business and about my puppy package programs. I sent him all the information, He spoke to his wife, and a week later they signed up, and their first session is this Saturday. So you never know who you're going to meet at networking meetings, and it's not just about them; it's who they know as well. So they may have a friend or a family member that that needs someone that's just got a puppy, or it needs dog trainer, or it needs a behaviourist, or that needs dog walkers. It's not about just who's in the room, it's about who they know. So you've got to look at it like that as well, because they will then speak about you to their friends and their family and their work colleagues. So just try it out. If you're in Hampshire and you want to come on to my Made in Hampshire networking meetings, you're more than welcome to. If you want to connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn, and you want to have a chat about networking a bit more, please do connect with me. But my mouth's going dry now and I don't have a drink here, but I hope some of you have found this useful. Jeanette, I did a lot of networking when I started and loved it, and how I know lots of people. So yeah, so brilliant. So like I say, I hope you found this talk a little bit interesting. You've taken a little bit of a nugget of information. You've taken, if you've taken one tip from it, great. If you haven't, then no worries. Thanks for coming on. I didn't even think I was going to do this, but I just thought I would take myself out of my comfort zone and get on and do it. And it's just something that not a lot of people really talk about. I mean, there's some great speakers on here, and I was thinking, what the hell can I speak about? I'm not as experienced as all these people. And then someone said to me, talk about networking. You're great at networking. You run a networking group. So a couple of the people just said, talk about networking, because a lot of pet professionals don't like to do it, or they don't know how to. So that's something that I am passionate about as well. So I thought, well, why not talk about it to fellow pet pro businesses? So yeah, I hope you found it useful. This will be uploaded as a guide if you want to replay. Emma says, Brill, thank you, she's going to give it a go. So yeah, this will be uploaded as a guide. So replay it, tell your friends to come on and have a watch of it. Please connect with me on Facebook and LinkedIn. I love connecting with people. Like I say, I'm a big collaborator. I will be your biggest fan. I will, I will sort of shout about you as well, and talk about you to my friends and family. Like I say, big believer in collaboration over competition, and networking does work. So I don't want to flog it to death, but I hope that's helped a little bit. And if there's any other questions, just pop them in the chat, and I'll stay on for a couple of minutes. If you've got any questions, just pop them into the chat. But yeah, that's basically it, really. I hope you found it useful. I feel like I'm babbling on a little bit now. So yeah, I'll just wait to see if there are any questions. But thank you so much for joining me this evening, and for engaging with your comments. Julie says thank you. She's just joining LinkedIn now. Rachel, update your LinkedIn, but add me, and then I'll have a look over it for you. I'd love to have a look over your LinkedIn profile for you. And Rachel, I was the person that said I'm interested in your first aid courses. I've got an employee that needs to do her first aid course. So really, really interested in your first aid courses, Rachel. I've done your free one. Absolutely loved it. Thanks, Freya. Jan, thank you so much. I hope you found it useful. Laura says collaboration over competition. Love that. Yeah, so get on LinkedIn, add me. If you want me to look over your profiles, I'm more than happy to look over them for you and give you some constructive feedback. Please add me and get on there and have a look at it. And see you soon. Stay safe, stay well. What did you put in as your industry? So I can't. I'll have a look actually. Let's have a look. Sorry, missed you. I'll catch up on the recording, Christine. Let me just bring up my LinkedIn profile. Can't remember what I put in as my industry now. Let's have a look. View profile. Industry. Does it give you options, Julie? If you want to message me, please do, because I've just got where I am, Greater Southampton area. My about information. It's got all my employment history and obviously what my business name is. Skills and endorsements. I've put dog walking, dog training, interests. So I can't see anything about industry, but there should be something on there to do with training or something along those lines. But yeah, give me a shout if you need any help with that. But yes, okay, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hopefully connect with some of you on Facebook and LinkedIn. Enjoy the rest of this virtual conference that Ruby's put on. I think it's a fantastic idea. It's absolutely brilliant. Stay safe and stay well, and keep being connected. Keep connecting and keep collaborating. Thanks very much. Love to you all. Take care. All the best. Bye.